Welcome, everybody. We are in Sports Performance Secrets. We are committed to the excellence and new alternatives in sports. Today's is a special interview. We have Dr. Joe Rubino. He will teach you a lot of things about self-esteem. And I know you are one of those athletes who want to be in charge of every aspect of your training. You are right here in the right page, in the right side, because we want to teach you all the aspects of your training. This is Coach Al. I coach gymnastics for more than 40 years, and from the beginning level all the way to the elite and Olympic Games. I have 2 Olympians and 5 World Championships. And I'm so glad that you are here with us because I want to teach you and I want to present you the most influential people ever come to this planet. And they want to help you to achieve all your goals. They want to help you to do the best for you. Today's interview is Dr. Joe Rubino. But before we start, let me tell you 2 things we need to cover before we start for the best interest of the interview, and you can get the best from here. Number one, you need to go to the web page of Dr. Joe Rubino for this interview. It's www.sportperformancesecrets.com. Self-esteem is slash self-esteem. Is SELFESTEEM. And you will see you are on the right page because you will see the picture of Dr. Joe Rubino. And you can do several things in this page. Number one, you can see in your right side is the special offer Dr. Joe Rubino present for you and prepare for you to help you about this self-esteem. And other thing, you go to the bottom and you will see the communication box. We want to hear from you. We want to communicate with you because we are interested in what you think, what are your needs, and how we can help you to get better. Number two, we have a special gift. We have a gift from Dr. Joe Rubino. Later, he will explain to you about that. And Dr. Joe Rubino is a specialist, super specialist in self-esteem. He was all over the world teaching. He has a book who was translated to tons of languages, 24 languages, and his book is in 59 countries. And several things he do all the time to help kids to be better. And today we have the pleasure, we have the honor to have Dr. Joe Rubino with us. And it's my pleasure to present Dr. Joe Rubino. Hello, Dr. Joe Rubino. How are you?
Hi, Coach. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And in today's call, you will learn many things. One, the self-image. The self-image you have don't represent sometimes the talent you have as an athlete. That's why Dr. Joe Rubino create a whole system to help you to get that. And I know you want to stop that sabotage, all that kind of problems you have in your sport, and we're here to help you. Now, let's go to start with Dr. Joe Rubino, and tell me how you get into this composition or the system of self-esteem. What motivates you to teach that?
Well, Coach, for the first 36 years of my life, I was an extreme introvert. I was practicing as a dentist, actually, and although I was very successful in my practice, by society standards, I felt like there was something missing, and I didn't really know what that was. I entered into a year-long personal development program, which became a 10-year program. And during that program, what I learned was that many people, like myself, play small. We settle for less. We suffer and we struggle in life because we don't believe in ourselves. And what I determined was that when we can support ourselves to have a positive expectation for our lives, where we can elevate our self-esteem, we actually can create a whole new future for ourselves that's bright, abundant, happy, fulfilled, filled with rich relationships, and all the things that we want in life. So in essence, I reinvented myself 23 years ago, And since then, I have done lots of research. I've coached personally thousands of people and spoken before hundreds of thousands of people in an effort to show them the secrets, the systems, the ways that everyone can elevate their self-esteem. And the program that we're going to be speaking about today is a program that I've created for adults to support kids to elevate their self-esteem. So we actually certify adults to teach them the principles, many of which we're going to be covering briefly today.
Amazing. That's not amazing that when you as a dentist, you notice that the kids have some fears, has a lot of issues in their lives, but that's incredible for me. To some people want to help the others to be better, and they start with themselves, like you said. You reinvent yourself first. This is the way to do life. Now, I motivate you, all my athletes, all the followers in this program, teach you parents how to motivate you. This is very important. Dr. Joe Rubino will start to explain you about this program, and I want you to help you coach to be more motivated, and you parents too. And let's go to understand what is your program, and who learn self-esteem certification. They need to have any requirements to do that?
No. Half the people that take my program, Coach, are parents, grandparents, people that want to impact their own children or their grandchildren. The other half are people that want to go out into the world. They're coaches, they're teachers, they're people that want to learn the principles of how to champion children to be their best, how they can cause children to believe in themselves, have that positive expectation for their future, how they can empower them to empower their lives. And a funny thing happens when we're able to empower people to empower others. Not only do their lives shift, but everyone that they come into communication with shifts as well. So it's a process that's growing always. Excuse me.
No problem. Well, I noticed one thing. Like you said, especially the people start first to change themselves with the intention is to help the others to change. This is really amazing, because every time you try to help others, you help yourself too. This is part of your program, and that makes me so happy.
Yes, it's a program of empowerment. And what it's really all about, as I get my voice back here.
Okay, no problem, no problem. We're fine. Let me explain a little bit. You can drink more water. All the people who are listening to us, you need to know one thing. The image you have about yourself will reflect in the subconscious level, not at the conscious level. At the conscious level, you will start to try to explain who you are, how good you are, but the subconscious level is exactly what reflects who you are. That's why this program, Dr. Joe Rubino's program, will help you to change that internal image. That internal image is the self-esteem. You will have to act and to do things. Okay, now keep talking about that program, because it's interesting.
Yes, Coach Al, we all have a tendency to listen to our negative self-talker. That's that little voice on our shoulder that tells us, you're not good enough, you can't win that race, you're not as good an athlete as all these other people around you, you're not smart enough to do this, you're not fast enough, you're not physically fit enough, why even try? Or we have some version of that negative self-talker that keeps us small, keeps us in resignation, keeps us suffering. And so yes, part of the challenge is to recognize that that's not our intuition talking to us. That negative self-talker is sourced in our childhood. It can be the voice of an early detractor, a parent figure, someone who wants to keep us safe or prevent us from being hurt, or perhaps someone that wants us to constantly stay on that treadmill trying to prove that we are something that we're not. And so what it takes to be excellent is to give up our right to be perfect, to know that every day we're learning, we're growing, we're improving, and to acknowledge ourselves for the progress that we're making and to give up our right to invalidate ourselves. So manage the negative self-talk when we hear it. Know that it's not our intuition. Our intuition is based in love. It's based in our higher selves, and it's always accurate. Our negative self-talker puts us down because he or she wants to keep us from being hurt, from risking unnecessarily. So we'll hear these things that have us quit, that have us play small, have us not excel to be our best. And all we need to do is to recognize when that happens, manage that self-talk in the moment, and then take some action that addresses it. So, sorry about my voice today.
No problem.
Give up our right to be at the effect of what other people say or do. Give up our right to have us put ourselves down and to think that we're not good enough in one way or another. And for athletes, this is particularly important because athletes, when they listen to their negative self-talk, tend to self-sabotage. It's kind of like the athlete that's running a marathon and finds herself out in front at the halfway point of the race. And she starts to say, well, I don't deserve to win this race. There's a lot better runners here than I am. And so what happens? She starts to let her thought processes influence her physical performance. And so other people start to take over. Or maybe she starts to run faster than a pace that she can sustain. She self-sabotages. It's the same with a golfer, for example, that's up by 5 strokes, after 9 holes and thinking, what's happened today? I'm not that good a golfer. There's many golfers who are better than I am here. And so the golfer now starts to get nervous, starts to outthink himself or herself, starts to put balls in the water or just starts to take unnecessary risks. In essence, we oftentimes tend to self-sabotage in a way because we listen to that negative self-talk and we allow it to dictate what we do. And then we get to be right about the fact that I told you so, I told you I couldn't do that, I told you that I wasn't good enough, I told you, I wouldn't win, or whatever. And that's just one aspect of elevating self-esteem, is to manage that.
Yes, excellent. Let me recall 2 points you really speak really well about that. Now, number one is to prove something you are not. This is the major problem to self-sabotage. You touched that point really good, because when the athletes or any kid try to prove what they are not, there is a conflict inside their minds. And the number two you touch is the attention is redirected to the negative stuff. You have 2 options to go to the positive. You don't need to be positive. Just you need to be honest and go to that voice who you talk to yourself. Because all the time you hear your own voice inside you. But what that voice says, this is very important for us as an athlete. Let me tell you one experience I have as a coach. I start to teach the kids every time they do something wrong, they need to zip the mouth. They don't need to say absolutely nothing. Because always, the new generations, what they said, it's so bad. And they try to justify the action, saying that it's so bad. My athletes learn in a period of time, don't say nothing. And every time they do something good, like you mentioned, it's very important to celebrate. It's very important to point at that. And that's why I like your system, because your system helped me to teach the parents too. I'm in contact with the athletes. And how long it takes for one parent to learn this process?
Well, we're so good at finding the flaw. We are great at beating ourselves up when we do something wrong. But we're not very good at acknowledging ourselves. We don't highlight the victories, as you say. And the way that we're wired, Coach, is that it's like a thermostat. When we expect great things to happen, we're self-motivated to do the things that will have those great things show up. So for an athlete, for example, if an athlete is
absolutely crystal clear on a vision of winning, let's say, that athlete will do the things that are required to win. They'll work out, they'll be pushed by their coach, they'll push themselves, they'll eat healthy, they'll take care of their bodies, they'll practice, they'll do all of the things that are consistent with winning. And when an athlete doesn't believe in themselves, the exact opposite happens. They self-sabotage. They expect to fail. And so they'll think, oh, what's the use? I'll just eat this, this greasy hamburger instead of, taking care of my health. Or, I'll smoke or I'll do drugs or whatever that self-sabotaging type behavior is, because they don't expect to be successful. They don't expect to win. But most athletes and most people live somewhere between those two extremes of expecting great success or great failure. They expect more of what they've achieved in the past. And so what happens is they judge their future based upon their past experiences. And so if their past experiences tell them that they're going to be in the middle of the pack, that they're going to be an okay athlete, that's what they expect of themselves, and that's what they'll produce. So when they can change their mindset to believe in themselves, to ask themselves, what's missing for me that I could put into place in order to achieve the type of performance that I truly want and deserve? Now they can be self-motivated to put those missing elements into place so that they can win, so that they can be better today than they were yesterday, so that they can be a team player if they're playing a team sport, so that they now have a winning attitude, a winning mindset, and a belief in themselves and in their teammates, and in the process knowing that it's all good and that every day they're going to give up their right to invalidate themselves when they don't win. What they're going to do is they're going to look at, okay, what worked about today's performance? And what was missing that if I put it into place next time would help me to be a better athlete, help me to be better at my game, help me to have a better mindset or a better physical performance. And so it's that constant and never-ending improvement process that supports athletes to win and to know that it's all good. But it's so important to enjoy the process, because if you hate the process, even if, for example, that process sometimes involves not winning, then as long you can use it to motivate you, sure, that's a good part, but you have to know that it's all good, and you have to know that you're on the path to winning, and that even though today might not be the result that you want, it's an important lesson for you so that you can constantly debrief, you can constantly look at, okay, what's missing that I've put into place would support me, and then now you can work on those missing elements, knowing that it's all good and it's all there for your benefit.
Excellent. You mentioned something really important. The actions will match what the self-esteem is recorded inside themselves. That's why they eat bad, they sometimes are lazy, they sometimes sabotage themselves. I noticed that over the years as a coach, that most of the kids have a low self-esteem, and you need to change that because the mind works by experience. And then if they have bad experience, they will show that they have low self-esteem. But I noticed one thing. The parents, they learn to correct the kids with one small process or 3 steps. Number 1, the kid make the mistake, the parents judge them and punish them. And when they grow, they do exactly the same. They do a mistake, they punish themselves. What I did wrong? I'm so bad. And somehow they punish themselves. This program will help to break that pattern who they learned when they was a kids. Mm-hmm. That's why I love what you're doing. And for that many years, a lot of people get benefit from that. Because in many countries, not just in this country, 27 languages is translated all your work. And 60-something countries use your system. That's a good opportunity for us to take care of what you teach. Now, in the process to learn, what is the average one of the family members, like the parents, the grandparents, or the coach, can achieve the knowledge to be able to coach the kids?
Well, the program consists of about 50 lessons. And each lesson is an important principle that the kids need to learn in order to be their best. So I'll give you some examples of those principles. One, for example, is to teach kids to be visionaries, to have a vision for where they want to be in their life and in their sports career. So to picture themselves winning, to picture themselves achieving the sort of results that they want. So if they're playing on a team, to be a great team player, to be someone that leads the team and step into that leadership role, to be someone who excels at their sport, who actually creates the results that they desire. All of the aspects. And when a child can clearly envision where they want to be in their life and on the sports field, they now have the ability to back up from that vision, and they can set goals. They can set goals that align with the vision. The goals are measurable and specific. So perhaps some of the goals are conditioning goals. Some of the goals might be to run at a certain pace, or to have a certain percent of body fat, or to be able to hit some goals with respect to production. So if you're playing a team sport, perhaps goals or assists or some way to measure your progress. And the goals now are a place to get to and also a place to come from. So first of all, there's no shame, there's no sadness in not setting lofty goals and not achieving them. The real sadness, the real failure, which is an interpretation at all times, is to not try your best. So when kids can have a vision for where they want to be in their life, and they can set goals that are consistent with that vision, they now have the ability to take daily, weekly, monthly actions that will support their accomplishments. So a lot of those actions are around practicing. A lot of those actions are around mindset. A lot of those actions are around getting coaching from their coach, from other teammates, being a team player. There's so many different facets to the game, depending upon what sport we're speaking about, that are all critical to developing the athlete's mindset, the athlete's physical expertise, and the athlete's spiritual excellence. So when a child can clearly envision where they want to be in life and where they want to be in their sport, and they now have the ability to work with their coach on developing a specific, measurable action plan that leads to the results that they want, what happens? As they encounter challenges, if they develop a personal development plan along the way that matches with their action plan, they can now embrace problems. They can look at every challenge that they experience as a good thing, as a gift that they're going to look at. Okay, what is the gift that, for example, let's say that they run a race and they come in dead last. Okay, so now they get to debrief with their coach. They get to look at, okay, what's missing for me to have a better result here? Is it lack of practice? Is it lack of physical conditioning? Is it lack of understanding of the sport or the game and the strategy for winning? So there are always going to be elements that we can learn from in any problem, in any challenge that exists. And so when parents, grandparents, coaches can look with the child without invalidating the child. So this is a big important element here. All kids are magnificent at their core and all have special gifts. Some are more physically gifted than others. Some are more mentally gifted, but everyone has gifts. And everyone has the ability to improve upon wherever they are along that spectrum as an athlete, as someone who can consistently get better day in and day out with a constant of never-ending improvement, a process of constant and never-ending improvement. So that when parents realize that at times their children, their grandchildren, will not have the kinds of results that they want, But their job isn't to make them wrong. Their job isn't to beat them up. Their job is to look with them, to acknowledge the things that they're doing right, and to support them at, okay, what are the elements that we can work on to give you the kind of result that you want? And that's a positive process. So when this is just 1 out of 50, for example, different distinctions or principles that are taught in the program to become visionaries, to envision your ideal life, to write out your vision in first person present tense as if it's already transpired, so such that when you have accomplished your dream life, what does it look like? Maybe it's winning the Olympic gold. Maybe it's having fun, playing a high school sport. Whatever level it is, it's knowing that you're on the path, you're enjoying the process, and you're actually you're having fun as you go along, producing a result and learning as you go along the way.
You said something really important right here. There's a division between the parents' desires and the kids' abilities. The function, the main goal of the parents is to discover what is the passion of the kid, what is the ability they can do, and what is the goal for doing that. Why? Because like you mentioned, if they just want to get fun, and the parent want to be an Olympic father, and then we have a conflict. The kid cannot do too much. Why? Because he tried to fulfill the expectations of the parents, and he will have conflicts inside them. And that's why it's important for us to clarify all these points, because sometimes the parents, they want to do more for their kids. It's the love, it's the passion they have for them. But right now, it's a good time to remind, if you just tune on into this program, we are Sport Performance Secrets, and we are interviewing Dr. Joe Rubino. Dr. Joe Rubino is a specialist in self-esteem for kids. And you want to get in touch with us, go to the interview page from Dr. Joe Rubino, just type in the address bar, use www.sportperformancesecrets.com/self-esteem. It's SELFESTEEM. And you will see right there the picture of Dr. Joe Rubino, and you know you're in the right place. And please check the special offer he has for you. And if you missed part of this interview, don't worry. We have 48 hours of repetitions of this interview and many others we have, because we want you to learn everything. And remember, we have a gift for you just to listen to this interview, because we want you to get a taste of what is self-esteem. Dr. Joe Rubino will tell you later what it's all about. And Dr. Joe, I noticed one thing as a gymnastics coach. In gymnastics, we face the risk fear. I call the risk fear is when they try to make a new element and they have fear. I noticed one thing over 4 years, the first kids, the kids number 1, they have more fears than the second one and the third. I know why, and you know why, because the parents are new. They are overprotecting the kid. They are helping the kid to, nothing happened to my son, nothing happened to my girl, and they overprotect them. It's nothing wrong with that. What we need to fix is the assumptions the kid has, because the kid start to understand, if my parents say me that this is too dangerous, they cannot assume that they try to protect him. They assume they are so bad, and they don't have abilities to do something better. And can you explain us a little bit about that one? How the kids assume they are no good?
Well, excuse me 1 second.
No problem, no problem. I know you're busy.
You have to call back.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
So what happens is that oftentimes parents will have a different expectation for their children than the children have, and they'll invalidate the children. They will have such an expectation that they make the child wrong, they make the child bad. They actually empower the child by invalidating the child. And so what happens is the child is constantly trying to make the parent happy, but working from a negative expectation. So the child thinks, I'm not good enough. My parent doesn't think that I'm good enough. I don't think that I'm good enough. And the exact opposite of what the desired result actually happens. When instead of having a positive view of enjoying the process and getting better every day and doing the best one can and knowing that that's all that one can do is to do the best they can, look to see what's missing that I've put into place. I'm sorry for the phone here. It just keeps ringing here. And well, I'm just going to let it ring and go to voicemail.
They like you a lot.
They do.
That's what they call.
They do. So what can we do? As parents, as grandparents, as coaches, we can empower children to know that wherever they are, it's a process. It's a process of learning, growing, and developing, and that they are magnificent as they learn and they grow and they continually step into their possibility in that process. So what we can do is we can have the parents give up their right to make the child wrong, but to look with the child as to what's missing that have put into place would support them. And when a child feels empowered, when a child feels like they have a partner with a parent or with a grandparent who is looking with them to support them without invalidating their effort, it's a different mindset. The child's going to love the sport. The child's going to want to do better. And they're going to know that it doesn't make them a bad person because they lost the meet. It just means that they're along the process of learning and growing and constantly improving. And all of that is exactly where they need to be. And so when they can feel good about themselves along the way, it's an entirely different mindset that they have. And it's a lot more fun than if they feel like the only time they're going to have fun is if they win. And if they lose, it's the end of the world. When we all know that we're all winners if we give our best. And we're constantly improving on where we were prior to the process.
Yes, you remind me one case who illustrate what you says. Everybody remember Gabby Douglas when she won the Olympics, but nobody knows what was behind. When she was elite, she was not the number one. A lot of athletes, like 3 girls, was ahead of her. When we have the nationals, she got the 6th place. She was not winning. When we have the tryouts to go to the Olympics, she get the 4th place. When we was in the Olympic Games, what she did is she accelerated the process to perform, and she won the Olympics. First time she won an elite competition. This is not amazing. If she was punishing herself because she don't won before, or she was critiquing herself, she never will win the Olympics. You need to wait till the moment to do your best performance. That illustrates exactly what you're saying, that the parents need to be patient. Not always the medals reflect the talent of the kid. Sometimes you compete against big competitors or more experienced, and it can make a big difference. But there's something important too. If the parents don't have self-confidence, do that affect the kids too? So I notice that the parents, they try to justify something towards the kids. And we need to work with them too, right?
Right. Yeah, Coach, one of the major problems throughout the world are parents who don't feel good about themselves. And as a result, they absolutely need their children to excel. And in the sports world, if the child doesn't win, the parent takes it personally and actually needs the win to feel good about who they are because they're living vicariously through the child. And that's such pressure to put on a child, such that we all want to win. But a parent needs to know their child to know that they love them unconditionally, and that they believe in them unconditionally, and that no matter where they come on the results board, as long as they give it their all, that's all that they can expect of them. That they try their best, that they apply themselves, that they look to constantly be a little bit better than they were before, and to put into place any missing elements. And really, that's all that a coach can ask for. That a student, that a child, that an athlete give their best, and that they're coachable, that they want to learn, and that they put into place the feedback that they're getting to make them better. And when you have that kind of a partnership where there's trust established between the coach and the parent and the child, now they're all working together as a team, and the results are going to be so much more effective, where someone like Gabby can actually give it her all and believe in herself and achieve a result, because she's not dealing with, I'm a loser, I'm never going to do this. And so the vision that she has for her life and for her sports accomplishment, instead of a positive one that motivates her, is one where she's focused on, how can I get out of here and not lose? And of course, when your mindset is about not losing, it's not going to be a positive result, because the mind can't distinguish what's real from what's vividly imagined. And if we're focused all the time on losing, that's going to be what's predominantly on our mind, and that's what we're going to manifest into the world. As opposed to, if we're constantly realizing, I'm getting better every day, I'm constantly improving, I have what it takes, I'm constantly learning and growing and putting into place any missing elements, that's the mindset that we want our athletes to have.
Perfect. The mindset is the key right here to succeed, not to win. Win is a process, it's a recognition, but the process to win, sometimes you need to lose in order to learn how to win. And now it's time to go to the webpage of Dr. Joe Rubino interview. Remember, just put www.sportperformancesecrets.com/self-esteem. What you will find over there, in the right side, you will see the offer Dr. Joe Rubino put for you. And that package is amazing. Like he mentioned during the program, he has tons of videos. How many videos you said, Dr. Joe?
Coach, honestly, I don't recall exactly how many videos on this program, but there are.
It's around 20 videos is in your program. And remember, it's 50% off. It's good for your teacher, good for your coach, good for your grandparents, good for your father, for your mom, because if they learn how to motivate themselves, and then they will understand what your abilities are as a human being, and then they will find everything, like PDFs, forms, they will find everything, but they need to know, and they need to integrate inside themselves to make a team, like Dr. Joe Rubino says. If you feel the support, you feel the team with your parents, it's fun, it's a pleasure, it's a good experience. Doesn't matter if you win or you lose, at the end you will be a successful person. And this program is designed for Dr. Joe Rubino. For, like he mentioned, 23 years ago he started to apply it. A lot of people really get advantage of that. Now a special discount price is for you. Other thing very important, he has a special gift for you. Why? Because he loves athletes, and he loves the parents of the athletes who make extra effort to be better in this life. And he will speak with us about that. But before we go to that part, let me tell you what the people is asking towards this program. I have some questions right here, and Anna from Montreal, she asks, do you program help teachers? Probably she has a bad teacher.
Yes, the question is, do you help teachers? Is that it?
Yes,
Coach?
the teachers can get better.
Yes, teachers are one of the primary groups that love our program because they have the ability to impact all of their students. And unfortunately, in the school systems, self-esteem elevation is not taught. So a lot of the negative conditioning of taking exams and you're bad if you pass an exam, if you don't pass an exam, or you're bad if you don't get, an A on the exam. There's lots of competition with negative connotations for the people that don't do well. And we know that, for example, all children learn differently and all have different gifts. There are multiple ways that different children are intelligent. And some learn, let's say, math very easily. Some are better writers. Some are more kinesthetic, and they learn by feeling and experiencing. So when teachers possess these 31 in particular tools that support children to feel good about themselves, have a positive expectation for their lives, know that they're magnificent as they are, and here are the tools to embrace the process of life and to enjoy that process, knowing that it's a continual process of learning and growing and becoming more and more excellent. Giving up your right to be perfect, because perfection doesn't exist in the world. And perfection is an excuse to invalidate ourselves. So teachers are the greatest champions of children and the greatest possibility of teaching these self-esteem elevation principles. What would our world be like if every student had a teacher and a coach who believed in them, who taught them that they were magnificent, that they could do things if they put their mind to it, and they showed them the exact way to embrace learning, to embrace the whole process of growth and development in a way where they're not invalidating themselves, they're not putting themselves down and damaging their self-esteem. It would be a different world, a world where people believe in themselves instead of having to be violent or negative with other people because they think that they have to get what they need out of life in a way that sometimes doesn't honor people, only because they think that that's the only access that they have to winning in the world.
Yes, you are totally right. Let me tell you one thing. Now it's for the athletes. I need to recommend something. Don't think that this program is something to be again or be still in the comfort zone. You don't need to get to your parents, to your coach, to your teacher, to your grandparents. Learn to motivate me because I want to be in the comfort zone. Motivation is not a comfort zone. When you're an athlete, you need to get out of the comfort zone to be better. It's your responsibility to be motivated, but if the parents, if the teachers, if the coaches has some problems to motivate you, they don't need to be a factor to destroy yourself. And remember, the responsibility is yours. It's totally yours. It's not from them. You can teach them. You can motivate them to motivate you, and that is make a big team. And we have another question, Teresa from Arizona. Your program can help my son with procrastination.
Yes, procrastination is a symptom of a mindset challenge, and people that procrastinate put things off because, one, they haven't learned the success skill of doing things now. We only have now to act upon, and people that put things off into the future do it oftentimes because they're more committed to their convenience than to their commitment. One of the principles that we teach is to identify what you're really committed to and to take bold action with respect to those commitments. The example that I like to give, the analogy, is kind of like this. Let's say you're walking down a forest path and you come to a fork in the road, and the left-hand path of that fork goes to produce the results that you've always had. It's about what's convenient in the moment. It's about looking good and being liked and taking the easy way out and accomplishing more of what you're used to in the past. The right-hand path instead is the path that is consistent with our commitment. And so what does it take to honor our commitment rather than the path of convenience? It takes recognizing when you're at the fork in the road, when you have the ability to make that decision. Am I going to do what's convenient, or am I going to honor my commitment in that moment? So those kids that have a tendency to procrastinate are accustomed, they've developed a bad habit that says, oh, I can do it later, why do it now? It's more convenient for me to watch TV now. It's more convenient for me to play with my friends now than to work out, whatever that happens to be. So the distinction, the principle that we teach children there is get clarity on what is important to you in the world. What is your overriding vision? What do you want for your life? So let's say if it's sports or in school, what do you want to accomplish? Now, what sorts of behavior will be consistent with achieving what you want to accomplish? And what sorts of self-sabotaging behavior prevent that from happening, with procrastination being one of those behaviors? So if the child gets conditioned into creating a new habit of success, identifying what supports what I want and what diminishes what I want, am I willing, and this is the important question, am I willing in the moment to make the decision that aligns with my commitments as opposed to my convenience? And once the child develops that habit by taking action 30 days on answering that question in the moment, choosing bold action that's going to produce a result rather than convenient action that's going to keep the procrastination in place, that will break that up within 30 days.
Yes, exactly right. 30 days of commitment change to patterns.
Yeah.
And especially because we live in a society of commodity. Everybody want to be comfort. Everybody want to get fun. Please entertain me because it's more day. We need to develop the abilities for them to learn because they want to learn, because they want to be better. We have a Heather from California. She want to know if she can get certified at 16 years old.
She can certainly take the program, but we have a minimum age of 18 to certify people to be able to go out and teach others. So
Perfect.
certainly the program will benefit her, but before she can teach others, she has to be 18.
Yeah, maybe she has a lot of brothers with a lot of problems, and then she want to help them. You can do it, Heather, and learn, apply it to your environment, and by 18, when you certify, you will be tons of experience, and
Absolutely.
That's what we want to do. Now we go to the special part. It's a part where you need to enjoy now in this moment. Dr. Joe Rubino make a special program for you. That special program is 50% off, and we mentioned to you we have videos, MP3s, recordings, everything what you need to learn. But now, just because you must listen to us, because you are interested into your self-esteem, Dr. Joe Rubino has a gift for you. That gift is in this page. You go to sportperformanceseekers.com/self-esteem. You will see Dr. Joe Rubino. And then you go to the bottom. It's a box right there. In that box, you will find that you can put your name and you can put your email address. Click right there, send it, and you will automatically get the gift from Dr. Joe Rubino. As a gift, just to say thank you for listening and to participate and take action over what you want to be in this life. We want you to be the best because you know you have talents. Let me explain you one little analogy. Just imagine you get a porch and you put a lawnmower tools and you start to cut your grass with the porch. The porch will look bad lawnmower, but if you try to run with your lawnmower in the truck, it will be worse. Then that's what Dr. Joe Rubino tried to explain to you. You need to find what is the specialty you can be good at. You will be genius in something, in art, in music, in sport. If you like a sport, but you are not the high abilities to do that, It's not a problem. Enjoy it. It's the foundation to be successful. And then find where are you a genius? It must be something. Because every child, every adult, every human being has talent for doing something really amazing. And we are running out of time. I'm very impressed. And what is about the gift, Dr. Joe? What they will receive when they click right there in that box as a thank you gift?
Well, first, Coach, they'll receive a video that goes over 7 key ways to elevate self-esteem. They'll also receive in their inbox 7 mini course lessons over the course of every day or every other day or so. A different lesson that they can map onto their lives to empower their life, to see something that they didn't see before. You know, we're all blind to the things that we don't know. And as long as that blindness stays in place, we have no way to access change and improvement. But when we shine a light on what we didn't know we don't know, that's when our greatest growth comes. That's what a coach does for an athlete or for a student. He or she empowers the student to see something that they didn't see, so now they can take action to put into place what was missing. And so not only will they get the video 7 mini course lessons, they'll receive an audio called 7 Steps to Soaring Self-Esteem. They'll receive daily tips to make their life better, to empower their life, to raise their self-esteem, to live, to improve their relationships, to be more fulfilled in their day-to-day occurrences, to make more friends easily, to be more abundant, to be more successful. And so that's all as a thank you just for checking out our program.
Very good. And then now you know you have a gift for you. Start to take action now. You have step-by-step things. You have a video. You have everything you need to start, to take a little bit taste. Give yourself the opportunity to be very successful. How take advantage of this opportunity to get 50% in the special offer that Dr. Joe Rubino have for you. A lot of people was trying to find this product. I know everybody need it. Everybody, we need it, because we need to learn how to validate ourselves into the toppest of our talent. And I'm very glad that we did this interview for you. And thank you, Dr. Joe Rubino, to be with us. It's a pleasure for me to have you here. All your knowledge is amazing. And keep working, keep helping kids to be better, because this country and any country depends on the kids. That's why I'm so glad. Thank you so much for your time. Any final words for your kids?
Yes, I just want to challenge everyone who's listening today that if you're not enjoying life, the process of life, if you're not having fun, if you're not producing the kinds of results that you want, know that you were listening to us today. Coach Al is inspirational, and he knows that we all have greatness within us. Know that you are great and that it's your job to learn every day and to be on that path of learning and growing. The greatest thing that can hurt your life and keep you small and stuck in suffering is resignation. I know, because I was resigned for the first 36 years of my life. And that's why I'm now committed to supporting children and adults to kill the resignation that is the killer of our souls, the killer of our spirit that has us move forward. So if you're not having fun, if you're not making friends and enjoying life and being better every day, know that that awaits you, that that's possible. There's lots of help out there into the world. And my invitation to you is to give yourself a break. Give up your right to make yourself wrong, to beat yourself up. Love yourself and know that it's all good. And when you have a positive expectation for your future, you will attract people who can serve you, who can champion you, who can coach you to achieve those great results. So love yourself, love others, give to others the things that you want back into your life, and have a great life. Thank you. And thank you, Coach, for inspiring everyone.
Thanks so much. And like my granddad says all the time, takes 2 years and 10 seconds to take decisions, 2 years to procrastinate, and 10 seconds to do it.
Yes.
Then it's better do it.
That's a great
Thanks so much, Dr. Rubino, and I wait for you to the next interview. all the athletes, all the parents, all the coaches, please stay tuned. We want to teach you, we want to uncover all the secrets, because we don't want to win because we have a secret. We want to win because we have discipline and we have the motivation to be the best.
Yes.
We want that champions ahead. Thank you so much for being with us. That's all for today. Stay tuned. I see you in the next one. Thank you, Dr. Joe Rubino.
Thank you, Coach.
Bye.